Welcome to Venture with Joe and Cody, where we take a deep dive into the minds of leaders and innovators making a real impact today. I'm Joe.
And I'm Cody. And we're here to bring you the raw stories, the successes, and the setbacks that these trailblazers have experienced in their journey to where they are today.
Every week, we sit down with a new guest who's ready to share their insight and advice on business, entrepreneurship, and making a difference in their community. From local community members to industry experts, you're going to get the unfiltered truth behind their success.
So whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned professional, or just curious about the business world, join us for a journey of learning and inspiration.
So let's grab a drink, settle in, and let's get started. This is Venture with Joe and Cody. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Venture with Joe and Cody. Over there is Cody Wilhelm with Residential Mortgage. I am Joe Skipper with Skipper Realty Group with eXp Realty. And I just say that right now, something that maybe we should talk about, it's current, is Oregon passed a law, and I need to find out more about this. I'm talking about this without even thinking. They passed a law that think that they're limiting the names of real estate groups, like Skipper Realty Group, like those sort of realty group names. I don't know anything about it, so bear with me here, but I think the purpose was to, I guess people are confused as to what, are you under a brokerage or are you your own team, or, the confusion of who is who. And so it used to be that, if you had your team, then you had to make it visible to be like, I'm with eXp, for example. So it's Skipper Realty Group, eXp, you got the logos, the multiple logos, all that sort of stuff. I think Oregon just passed a law that basically says that those are either limited or not allowed anymore. So I need to look at that.
Wow.
Like
you are illegal right now.
I don't think it's illegal yet. I think it's in the beginning of the year, I think. But I think that Oregon is trying to figure out how to kind of I think the bill went into effect, and I think in the next session they're trying to address that particular part of the law that will kind of help us. But I was like, dude, I don't want to have to. You've
already got everything.
Rebranding everything.
No.
Like Skipper Realty Group there. Like everything. So
what I don't understand, I understand the confusion, right? Because I think until you start to understand the industry and how it works.
Oh, for sure.
You're thinking like, oh, this person owns their own real estate company because their company name is Skipper Realty Group.
Yeah.
But why is that? What I don't understand is why would that be a problem?
I know.
Because the big company is not getting their recognition, because the confusion of it, like if you want to work with somebody, maybe it seems like false advertising. I don't know, but it doesn't make sense on why you would regulate that, because it has no impact. But
I'm gonna say this, and I probably have to preface this by saying this is my own opinion, not the opinion of eXp or anyone else.
Sure.
But I'm with you. I think it's stupid. I think that if I'm the average consumer, do I care, for one, if Joe Skipper has his own brokerage or if he's under Keller Williams or eXp or Cascade Sotheby's or whatever? Who cares?
Sure.
I think this is part, and someone correct me if I'm wrong. If you're here listening to this and you have an opinion that that you think is right, I think it's an antiquated thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those antiquated things that I think in the real estate industry, for sure, we are so slow at reacting to real life. I remember when I first joined social media, there was this big thing that, like, if you post a video or anything, you have to get the video and the post approved through your principal broker before you post it. Because they have to make sure it's in compliance with the, blah, 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 and blah, blah. And now it's over. But it was like real estate was so slow to pick up on the fact that you can't do that. Like if you're posting regularly, I cannot wait for my principal broker to say, oh, you're good to go with this and it meets all the standards. I'm not saying to violate the standards, but it just was, this reminds me of that like somebody very confused. I don't know. I would love to meet the person that was confused and actually argued the fact that they're upset about this, because I'd love to see that their personality is. But they're like, I did not know Skipper Realty Group was with eXp, and it bothered me so much that I need to go to my legislator to tell them that it bothered me so much that I was unaware that they were part of this. I think this is such an antiquated thing, and I think this happens with every large company. It's like there's such a slow ball rolling that time, like things are flying by them, and they're like we don't know what to do with this. And I think this is just from what I'm learning now, it's just a stupid thing. Like, why are we caring?
I don't know either. I mean, I just can't see. I mean, all you have to do is if you're not sure, you just ask the question. Like, hey,
and why would I care? Like, I honestly have never, when I bought and sold houses before as a real estate agent, I could care less. I honestly could care less who you're part of, Cody. Like, it could be Cody Wilhelm with Cody Wilhelm Loans. It does not matter to me. So there's got to be something. I'm hopeful that this world is sane enough there has to be some reason why people are like, you have to have the brokerage. So if you know it and you know that reason, please comment below so Cody and I can get rectified. I'm open-minded enough to hear if there's something that needs to be done, if they're like, this is why, and it makes sense, totally fine with it.
Sure. I mean, I could see it more on the mortgage side, because say you had a bad experience with this company and you're like, I'll never work with them again. And then find out that this person works for that company, but their name was disguised. But it's like, from a real estate side, to me, it is so much more of an individual. It's not as if like EXP as a company, you're getting this specific service from the company and dealing with them on an ongoing basis. At least with your mortgage, it's like, you have to make your payment to them. You have to call customer service. You're tied to them.
Yeah, you're committed to them.
So I could see it a little more from that side, but from the real estate side, I don't know.
It's silly.
I'd be curious to learn.
The thing is, I'll probably have to, I don't know. Comment below if you have an idea. I think I'd probably go SRG, right? And just not tell them what it means.
SRG&x.
Yeah, SRG&x. It's like the alphabet that I can get.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's not what we were going to talk about, but as I was saying it, I was like, I forgot about that. And so it will have to be addressed.
Well, that kind of plays into what we were going to talk about, though.
True. A little bit of
the
AI.
Future.
We're going to talk about the future.
Yeah.
The future of real estate and AI. Like, it's a really probably hot topic in your community, but super hot topic in the real estate community. We just got done. I didn't go to it, but EXP just had their conference in Florida. And a large portion of that is talking about AI, how to use it, how to utilize it, how to make the best of it, and how the industry is changing to it. Start us off, Cody. What do you see with? I know what's happening in the real estate world, but what's going on in the lending world with AI? How are you guys using it? What's the deal with it?
Yeah. So from an actual loan process of things, it really hasn't created much of an impact yet. And maybe it has on some of what they're building out and what they're able to integrate into software and stuff. From a practical standpoint, loan officer standpoint, it's really kind of helping you with maybe looking up guidelines where it's easier, right? Rather you do your normal, go to the guidelines that are online and you scroll and you search through there. I mean, I use ChatGPT for looking up guidelines, because the thing that I love about it is it will send you the link. Right? It's like, here's my question. Here's what I want to deep dive into. And it'll send you the link, which is the link for Fannie Mae's guidelines on that specific topic. So just cuts down my search time. I'm using the same resource, but it's just cutting down on the search time. AI can help with answering a lot of questions because it's tied into there. It can help you structure emails. The thing that it can't help you with is walking through real life scenarios on what is, conversations.
Yeah.
It's just like anything. It's computer related. It's awesome. It's convenient. But if you're not the type of person that needs hand holding and explaining and walking through and like a real person, that, there's always that little bit of when you look something up and you get it online, there's always like, is this true? It is online. But how old is this information?
Yeah.
Who submitted this information? Because, all it's doing is scrubbing the internet for it. So from a loan officer standpoint, business standpoint, I can see how I'm sure down the road, they're going to probably eliminate positions from it. The loan officer position, I don't know how much that will be impacted. I'm sure it will be, but to an extent that you just don't need them anymore. I don't know. I guess that's TBD, but right now it seems more of like a resource than it does a
replacement.
A replacement. And again, that could be, so we're still so early on in this journey. I could, next year I could be telling you that I'm just hoping to have a job instead of.
You really need this podcast to go because we
exactly
just with the podcast.
Please, people.
Subscribe, please. I
Right.
need the sponsorship money.
Exactly. What are you seeing though?
Similar. It is interesting. I'm not naive enough to think that we couldn't be replaced but I don't know. It's a really hard battle because I do think this is, they've talked about this as being like the internet, or, we had talked previously about farming and like how you got tractors and how, came from like a manual labor to now tractors. And so it is a big move. I don't think this is just a fad. I don't think this is just something stupid. I think it is going to be the future of every position and every job in society at a certain level. I think humans have to be involved at some point.
Sure.
I guess I don't know. What we're kind of focusing on is using AI, especially EXP, who's an online brokerage. So it's kind of, we're on like the forefront of this stuff anyways, being an online brokerage. We got rid of the brick and mortar long before anyone else has gotten rid of brick and mortar buildings and all that sort of stuff. So I'm thankful that I'm with this brokerage that kind of already is like, we're moving on with it. So we use it a lot as an asset to each business to help with, like you said, the background work and things like that. Contractually, I think that, I think my initial hesitations is contracts, negotiations, those sort of things can't be done by AI. Having said that, I'm not stupid enough to think that maybe AI will get so good that they can review a contract for accuracy, for legality wise, and it can be trusted to be legal. Because right now, you throw any piece of paper into ChatGPT, it can analyze it, but there's mistakes all over the board.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'm on a little bit of a rant, but I don't know. Like right now, our businesses are adapting to it. And I think businesses that in real estate agents that are like, no, I'm not doing AI. It's just too much for me, or it's overwhelming. They're going to fail in the next 5 to 10 years. Guaranteed. They will fail. The people that are adapting with AI and using it to better their business and marketing and, background or back end work so that you are more front facing, you're more available, you're more, that will make those agents really good. But yeah, it's interesting to think, because if I nitpicked everything of your lending and stuff, I could be like, okay, well, if AI was able to, if AI was capable to do X, it could do it. But I think there are some unique things. The negotiations, for one, on our side is like, yeah, they could suggest to someone, like, you type this in, hey, this is a contract, this is what we saw, this is the work that needs to be done on the house after inspection, what do you think? And it could probably pop out some suggestions. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I think it's tough because to me, you have, your different generations where I know we've talked about where we land as 40-year-old price or age range.
Yeah.
We're like that beginning of the older generation, I guess you could say, that's used and adapted to technology.
Yeah.
And, our parents' generation is a little more like, no, I want the in-person. I want to still meet with people, shake their hands, look them in the face. Our generation is kind of like that in between. I think we'd prefer it, but we're still okay with technology. So I think what'll be interesting is like our kids' generation, because growing up with all of this,
for sure,
are they more used to and okay with just technology running everything?
Yeah.
And not feeling the need for, and maybe not having some of the personal skills that requires. So
for sure,
I think for our, next handful of years, I think it's still going to be that learning phase. But ultimately, if you really break it down, you're buying the most expensive thing you'll probably ever buy, unless you just become really wealthy. Then you might have other things. But like the average person, it is the most expensive. It's the most money you're going to spend, and it's the largest purchase you're gonna finance. So to me, I feel like there's a lot of things you can do to have AI help you and negotiate things and kind of like give you an idea. But when it really comes down to it, I'm sure there will be people that will just be fine with it. But I think the majority are going to be like, I still think I want to make sure that we're doing this the right way.
Yeah.
By talking to a human and having a human help us, then
for sure,
I feel good that the computer's telling us, but also in that, where becomes the liability of
an AI,
right? Like if you,
like something, walks you through, some computer walks you through a purchase and something in the end went wrong,
right?
Whose liability is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could argue both sides. I think you're right. Like, I think the younger generation may, in fact, by the time we're 70 or whatever, they may be
Yeah.
like, yeah, why do you guys even think that AI couldn't do this? Like,
Yeah.
and real estate agents are maybe monitoring deals. They're just more of like a monitoring management, like kind of keeping things in order. Maybe the same with lawyers and things like that, that like a lot of the legality issues could be kind of back end. And then that agent is kind of more of just like a face to kind of help things go, or represents that liability, or does, to make sure they're the liability. Maybe same with, like, I was thinking with your industry, and maybe this is stupid, but like underwriting and things, it's like maybe AI can get sophisticated enough to kind of do those final checks just as a, yep, we're good. We don't need someone actually looking at it. But then I'd say, again, it's a loan that the lender is not, maybe they don't want to trust the AI to be like, that they did something wrong. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. I think the biggest thing that I take away from this, and maybe you do as well, is I need to make more of a proactive, AI intensive deep dive. I think ChatGPT is great, but I think there's a lot more out there that I'm like, we get into that, like, oh, ChatGPT, and then probably a 20-year-old's like, have you not used X, Y, Z? Like, they're
ChatGPT is so
better.
old.
Yes, way better. So I think like I need to tap into more of that training in AI to really stay up to trends, because it's changing so fast. And for anyone in our industry at our age, it's very easy to be like, I'm just blinders on. I'm doing really well right now. This is how I'm going to stay. And you may be comfortable like that for 5 to 10 years, maybe. But if you just like let it go to the wayside, even if you do believe in it, I do think that AI will kick you right in the pants in about 10 years. If you're like, oh, I just use ChatGPT to write my listing descriptions. It's like,
no, we can tell. We can tell you're still using ChatGPT.
That's the only reason that I use ChatGPT is like,
Grandpa Joe over here.
So I think even now I'm missing it, because even when I say ChatGPT, I'm like waiting for my son who's 13 to be like, use ChatGPT.
Right.
Like,
you.
So
you think you're so cool.
Yeah, I know. And so I do think it's going to require a very proactive. This is a unique time in our industry, in any industry. I bet lawyers, business people are all probably doing the same thing. And is like, how do we adapt to this? Because this is like that. To me, it's like the internet. Boom. Like, it's not just like, oh, we just got this new contracts, or we got this new law that came into place. I think it's a dynamic shift of a world. Like, the internet changed the world and how we did things. And I think AI is going to change the world and how we do things. And so I think I'm trying to just stay up to date and stay focused on kind of being in the know, because as you know, with social media and all that stuff, it's like, I can already tell that I'm like, I don't need to, I don't need this. I don't need this newest trend thing, or I don't need this. Newest, the phone. I got a new phone, and we've talked about this. Is like, I used to get a new iPhone every year. Like, I didn't care if I needed it, if I wanted. And
you were getting that new one.
My phone's good for a few years. My phone, it works just fine, and it's just like my parents. Makes the phone calls. Like, that's all I need to do.
It does what I ask it.
Yes, and I just am like, you have to fight that. You probably are the same. Like, you have to fight that, like, comfort level of just like, I like my ChatGPT and where I search things and what I do with things, and it really, you have to like proactively go at that AI. I don't know what I'm just saying roundabout that for me, and I'm talking just out loud or thinking out loud, is like, my goal is to just continue to stay up front with AI, no matter what. Try a new thing that comes out, and try this new AI program that comes out for a few months, just like I did with ChatGPT. Like, oh, let's just try this ChatGPT. It's this new thing, and I'm sure there's new stuff coming out.
Oh yeah,
right. But
I mean, I see stuff all the time that's essentially talking about what we're just talking about right now. It's like, you're only using ChatGPT. Well, here's what you need to be using. And it lists off 10 other companies or programs that you could be using for specific needs. And I think that's where it really starts to expand, is like, ChatGPT is great for this, but if you want to do this, you need to go over to this one. And if you want to go here, whatever you're looking to do, there's a specific AI for that, not just in general, like, which does get a little overwhelming if you're just trying to kind of stay current with things, and you're going, man, I got to learn this thing now, and I got to learn this one, and do I even use them? But I think, going back really quick, because as we've been talking, I'm kind of like processing a little bit more on what I think. I think from the mortgage side, I can see the beginning of things where it's automation on documents. And so it might slowly be phasing the operations side of, this specific individual that is no longer really needed because, or maybe it's one assistant type person for a whole office as opposed to one for every couple loan officers. So it's like, I could see the automation side of it starting to really not eliminate positions as a whole, but just eliminate the need for so many of those. Because now, if this file is all put together like this and an underwriter only needs, 20 minutes as opposed to an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is, they can get through that much more, which means the company only needs X amount of underwriters or assistants.
For sure.
I could see that because I think you are still going to run into the need for the human review, the human eye.
But I think even like an expert, an expert in the real estate industry AI, because not everyone can be like there will be people that use AI for the general Joe Schmuck, everyday use. But I think being the real estate agent that can articulate that I utilize AI in my business to make your life easier, because I don't want, as a consumer, even if they say AI is taking over attorneys, like whatever,
right?
I can't study what AI is better for my attorney issues or needs. Like you're almost going to be like the holder of the AI of that specific need, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, and I'm just maybe imagining stuff, but like if I need to buy a house and there's like 18 AI programs to, that are saying that we can get you to, these steps, or, we can get you up to this point, then you need an agent, then you don't need an agent, that sort of stuff. I don't think many people, just like in the mortgage world, no one's staying up to date in the mortgage industry until they need a home.
Yes. Agreed.
So even if AI is helping automate a lot of things, I just don't see people being like, I'm just going to take care of this house sale on my own. I buy and sell a house every 7 years. AI is developing so fast, like to be like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. I'm just going to get on the chat GPT of real estate and make this offer and do this thing. It'll be, maybe agents and lenders are kind of the holders of the AI that does the work, and can kind of help you through it or whatever. I don't know. It's going to change, but I'm just, thinking out loud. I think being a specialist in AI in your field is going to be extremely helpful. That the top programs, the top things that do that, when Zillow came out and Redfin came out, you kind of understand how they work and can help people explain, because Zillow has been saying it forever that they were going to take away, that they were going to take over real estate agents, and they haven't, because it's limited. You can't fully do it. And no one's fully bought into it. So even young clients I have they use Zillow for, a ton of stuff, but they're not comfortable going with Zillow to purchase a home and to get a loan.
It's more of a resource than it is an actual like tool.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, and I could see, some form of this when YouTube first came out, and it was more entertainment based, and then it slowly has kind of turned into just a little bit of everything. But I got to imagine that there were a lot of businesses that were impacted in the sense that you start getting people that are putting out how-to videos on, how to fix your plumbing, how to do this, whatever it is. And you're going to have people that are more of the DIY type person that's like, perfect, this is what I need. Now I don't need to call somebody to fix it.
Yep.
And what did those businesses do? Or some of those people, they started to capitalize on it and I'm going to make videos on how to teach people how to do the work that I'm supposed to be getting paid to do.
Which seems counterintuitive.
And now it's building up my channel, and now I'm actually making revenue from this, and I'm like a YouTube star on how to tile a bathroom. It's like I can see it kind of going a similar direction where it's probably pulled a lot of business out of there, but then a lot of those smarter businesses said, all right, well, this institution, this whole YouTube thing is taking my business. Maybe let's invest in YouTube.
Yeah.
So I think the AI thing might be a similar thing where it's just, okay, initially you can start to see it removing parts of the business, but okay, now how can I use this to ultimately make it better overall? I don't know, but it's kind of where it takes my thought process to like, that had to have been a big shift for a ton of industries, because you have some people that are just like myself. I am a DIY type person. Like it pains me to pay somebody to do work. So if I can do it and figure out how to do it, great. But I know that there's lots of people that are like, I don't even want to try to swing a hammer. So I leave it up to the pros, right? So you're going to still have those clients and those people that are, in my mind, going, sure, Chat GPT or this AI model can lay out what all I need to do to list my house, but that I still have to go through the actions of reaching out and getting this and doing this and doing that. And I don't want to do that. It's cool to have the information, but I want somebody else to do it. I'll just pay them to do it and it's taken care of. And I know that I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned all the DIY stuff on YouTube, and it's like we're on YouTube doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And part of it is to put out good content for people to learn the industry and learn that sort of thing. We're doing the how-to videos online, but we realized, you and I did, is like this is the future of our industry, that we can ignore it and probably do fine, and we don't need to be on social media. We can kind of go the traditional route of marketing and showing our expertise to whoever wants to listen. We saw the same thing, is like you have to be the person that when people think of real estate and think of lending and want an expert, how are you going to show it? And YouTube and social media is the only way to do it at this point. And so, and for everyone, you're exactly right. For every one of you that's looking at how to tile a bathroom, it's not just like teaching them how to tile a bathroom. It's showing them you're an expert at it. So if I'm looking at how to tile a bathroom, Joe Schmuck, and I'm like, I can't tile a bathroom. Let me just see what it's like. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, this guy's in Oregon. He's an expert. He's on YouTube. He's got all this stuff. I'm going with him because he's proactively showing me how to do it at the risk of, like you said, potentially losing some business, because some people will be like, I can do this myself. But I think there's a vast majority, especially in that DIY industry, that would be like, I can't do this. Yes. And now I found an expert.
Or I started to do this.
When you search, people are searching YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff for plumbers in Oregon. And if you're in there doing DIY stuff, that's where younger generations are looking now. They're not necessarily going to Google to say real estate agent Oregon. They're looking real estate agent Oregon in TikTok. And if you're the one that's up there doing the DIYs or doing the how-to videos, that's kind of, I agree with you. I think that's where our industry has been headed and maybe where it's going. I think people will be able to say, hey, AI will do the majority of stuff. I can do it myself, just like a for sale by owner, just like all that stuff. They don't necessarily need us, but I think the vast majority of people see the videos, watch the videos on how to buy a home and are like, this agent seems to know what he's doing. I'll just go with them.
Right.
Because most people have a life. They have other stuff to do. They can't, I'm not going to build a deck, replace tile in my home, repair my roof, all this, re-landscape the yard. We just don't have the time in the day, even if we have the expertise to do it. So we pay for a convenience of someone else doing it for us.
Yep.
And I think
absolutely,
that's where we are. Ultimately, you're a convenience, and that's people pay for the convenience. And I don't think that's wrong. Like I can learn how to build new cabinets. Like I can buy all the equipment and replace my kitchen cabinets myself.
Yeah.
But do I want to? No. Do I want to pay that money? No. Like, do I want to make those mistakes? No. So I think that's a good point though. Bringing up the YouTube videos is like, that's why we're in it. Like not the only reason why we're in it, but we want to show that we're the experts in the industry so that people have a resource to ask questions and whatever. And ultimately, if they can't do it themselves or don't feel comfortable doing it themselves, they know a personality and they know a person that they can be like, okay, I'll call them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like we both had people from our stuff call because they know us. Like from, we don't know them, but they know us from watching videos, learning our personalities, liking our personalities, and some probably don't use us because of the same thing. But I think there are.
They're like, that one guy's voice is really annoying.
It's like cold. Does he have a cold? Like,
it's like, no, this is just this is just my voice all the time.
Just nasally.
Yeah.
But I think AI is it is a big boom. I think it's the internet. It's the new internet, like in that sense. And I think adapting as agents and lenders to that is only going to benefit us. But I don't think at this point, at least in the short term, it's just going to be like, where did they go? Remember when we used a real estate agent and a lender?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I think staying on top of it is in our industry, if you're listening and you're in our industry, by ignoring it, it's not going to help you in any way.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Cody?
No, I like the internet analogy though, because I can see that, you look at our parents when the internet came out, were probably about our age. And it's like the adapting of, okay, cool, that's a really neat little thing. And then not realizing that in 20, 30 years, that's going to run everything, or 40 years, whatever, And so it'll be interesting to see from our side of it, like being the age that we're at, watching it kind of develop in front of us. We might be required or wanting to use it more for what we do for work, as opposed to somebody that just doesn't need to. If I didn't need to do it for work or anything, I wouldn't have any desire to go figure out all the AI stuff. But being more invested in it, it'll be interesting to look over the next 10, 15 years of like, wow, that was no joke. Like that really did kind of take over and automate a lot of stuff. And, I don't know. It'll be interesting because I think, as we watch it develop, you don't see the big experiment with it until you really get a chance to step back. But
to step back and look at it.
We're right in the middle of it.
It'll be interesting on the political side and the legality side of, you'll see probably a heavy investment in lobbying firms that are going to want restrictions on it.
Yeah.
Lawyers, real estate agents, there's going to be people that are like, we need to save our industry. And so there are going to be a lot of lobbying to be like, let's restrict this for our industry and things. So you're going to see that political side of things in order to save the industry.
Sure.
Because it ultimately, the internet's the same thing. It is a wild, wild west, and same with AI if you kind of let it get out of control. Well, so it's just going to be an interesting thing, I think.
Yeah, I think the other part too is depending on what all industries kind of take it over, you still have the fact that it is an internet-based thing, which to me can still be hacked, which can be manipulated. So it's like at some point, there's going to have to be some type of parameters for, especially once it does get up into, say, that, really legal side of businesses, because at some point that's going to be the next threat, is the AI manipulation, and somebody's found a way to go in and make a little tweak to this, and I don't know, but who knows?
Yeah, well, I think we'll stay on the forefront of it, see what happens. But maybe I'll just work for your construction company if we get
worst case, we'll start something up, we'll fire it up, and
we'll do like a funny podcast or funny how-to videos, like the average Joe how-to,
we can make what we can make.
Judge me when I do. You're like, that's wrong. Like you have you're kind of like sports casting what I'm doing, and you're like, watch him mess this up, and watch how this is going to affect the entire project because he thinks this little thing in point A is going to, I always get that way when I build something. I always I mess up a slight thing at the second step. And then at 35, you don't know until step 35 that you're like, oh, you messed up at 2. So you got to go back.
I'm so glad I just spent the last 5 hours doing this to now have to redo it all.
Maybe AI could evaluate that stuff. That would be a good one. They can monitor you and be like, nope, you didn't do it all. Didn't do it all. So, anyways.
Let's do it. It sounds like we got a little side hustle.
Nice. Okay, man. Well, until next time. Good chatting with you.
You as well.
Okay.
Keep rocking that Chat GPT.
Yes. Old folks, the old Chat
That's
GPT.
right.
Okay. We'll talk soon, man.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.